Hello everybody! So how can you, quote unquote, hack a Windows 10 or 11 in under 2 minutes? And what can you do to prevent it? And is it even real? This is Stef from Samayas and welcome to my channel. Being in IT for as long as I've been, I know that if you don't encrypt your hard disk, you can simply unscrew them, put them in another machine and read out all its content. That is no secret. But until recently, I didn't know that if your hard disk was not encrypted, you could simply change your Windows password with no hassle whatsoever. Let's dig in. Now, for demo purposes, this is a Windows 11 without a TPM or a trusted platform module. And so the hard disk is not encrypted. And so, if you want to log in and you don't know the password of a user, you simply press the Shift key and keep it pressed, and then you go to the power button, you click on it with the left power button and you choose Restart. And so after its reboot, you can leave the Shift button and here you go and choose the troubleshooting menu, and in the troubleshooting menu you choose Advanced Options. And then in the Advanced Options you choose Command Prompt. And here you have a normal Windows. Here you simply type C:, and depending on the keyboard on which you have, you might have to look for the colon because your keyboard is not necessarily the keyboard on which Windows is currently running. Now you type CD Windows. Now you type CD System32. And so in the system directory, we're going to type ren from rename, utilman.exe, utilman1.exe. And so we simply rename our existing utilman to a new name. And now we're going to type copy cmd.exe, utilman.exe. And now we're done here. We can simply do exit and restart. And we choose continue. And now after restart, here we have an icon accessibility. And we click on that. And instead of having the accessibility icon, now we have a command prompt. And so we simply replaced utilman.exe with command.exe. And there's no check whatsoever here to validate that utilman is still the utilman we're expecting. And so this is the first hack. Now we have, without having logged on to the system, access to the system. And so the only thing we need to type now is control user passwords 2. And now here we have access to all the local users on this machine. Currently, I've only created John Doe for testing purposes. If it's your own machine you're recovering, doing a reset password here is just fine. And you simply give a new password. And so now you know the password which you've set and you're all done. If you're sneakier and you don't want to change John Doe, but you want to create an extra user, you can even go to Advanced, and then here we have the Advanced Options and we simply have the User Manager. And so next to users, we can simply create John Doe 2. And here again, we specify a password. And once that user is created, in groups, we add that user to the administrative group and we have taken over completely our Windows system. So now we can simply close this here, close this and this. We did a password reset and so we can enter our new password and we have access to the machine. Or we can even switch to John Doe 2 if we want to. And so, from a user's perspective, if we lost our password, this is a perfect way to hack around. However, as a normal user, if our disk is not encrypted, whenever we abandon our workstation or laptop somewhere, somebody can just sneak in and get access to your machine, which is actually really kind of scary. Now, if your password has been changed by somebody else, you will know because you won't be able to log in anymore, and that'll be the first sign. If, in second scenario, he simply creates another user, you won't really notice that. Now, of course, if he creates another user, he won't have access to all your user settings, but he will still have access to the entirety of your machine an easy way. And that is not something which we would want. So now, I'm on my second machine, which is BitLocker encrypted. And if I try the same trick as before, let's see what it gives. So I hold in my Shift again, I go to Power button, and I go to Restart. And just as before, again, we have the recovery options. We go to Troubleshooting, we go to Advanced, and we go to command prompt. And here suddenly we don't have access to our C drive anymore. And so I can't go any further. And so as a hacker, in this scenario, I'm simply locked. And so if it is my machine and when I set up BitLocker and I exported my BitLocker encryption keys, well, if I have that key, I simply need to enter my key, which corresponds to the part which is given here, and I'll have access to my C drive and I can tweak whatever I want. As a hacker, I'm simply stopped. So this is an absolutely must-do: encrypt your disks. So now I've connected to my quote-unquote secure machine, which has a TPM model, and so we press the start button and we type BitLocker, and then we have manage BitLocker. And the first thing we should do is go to TPM administration, and if your machine does have a TPM, you will have a status here, and here the TPM is ready for use. And so then you see all your local disks which you can encrypt, and now let's click on turn on BitLocker. He first checks whether or not your system can accept BitLocker, and then next it asks you to save your recovery key. And your recovery key is a key which allows you to still have access if for whatever reason the normal boot process wouldn't work anymore. Let's hope you never need them, but for safety you should save that somewhere. And so you have a possibility, if you have a Microsoft account, to save it at Microsoft if you trust them, or you could save it to a local file, or you can even print it out. Now I'll choose save to local file, and I simply take my USB drive, and here you have BitLocker recovery key. If you only have one machine, well, that is fine. If however you have a multitude of machines, it's always nice to put the machine name in front. So like machine 1, BitLocker key. And then we simply choose save, and then we choose next. And then we have a choice whether or not only to encrypt the used storage or to encrypt the entirety. I always choose the entirety of the disk. It is quote unquote slower at start, but afterwards we don't care anymore. And so we choose next. And here then we have a choice depending on the version to choose the newer encryption mode or the compatible encryption mode. Well, I don't see why not to go for the newer. And then finally, before starting, we can have a BitLocker system check. And that's always a good thing to run. If for whatever reason that check concludes that your system is not ready, it won't start encrypting your disk. And the last thing you want is a disk which is encrypted on a system that cannot be booted again. So we'll choose run BitLocker system check, and for that we need to restart. And so the test was successful, and now here the encryption of the C drive is starting. And of course, depending on the size of your disk, that might take from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. And of course, in my scenario, this is a virtual machine which is running on an NVMe, and so it is quite fast. And now my BitLocker is enabled. So if we now type start again and type BitLocker, well, we can see that our system is secure. Mission accomplished. Now, one last and very important key for your BitLocker, which you copied on a local USB and potentially might have to make more than one copies, or you can simply print it out. If we open up this key, first of all, after BitLocker key at some point, it will give you a long ID, which is the key. And if you are in a mode where you need to enter the recovery key, the first key is this which you will see, which allows you to identify the key which you need. If you open up this file, in essence, you'll have to enter this sequence in order to have access to your disk again. So you might simply take this file and print it out and put it somewhere in a safe. That is also perfectly acceptable. And so finally, if for whatever reason you still need to enter that key, after having read like 10 times the right key and trying to enter it, you simply need to enter the recovery key. You can choose continue and the drive is being unlocked. And here again, you have access to your drive and you can start playing around with it. Not just for hacking, but if you need to have access to that system, of course. And then finally, on a Windows Home version, there's no BitLocker. However, there's a drive encryption, which is almost the same, with that exception that you first need to sign in into the Microsoft account in order to enable it. No choice. Now, for demo purposes, I'm using Hyper-V on my Windows 11 machine. And in there, I've created two Windows 11s. The first, the non-secure, is simulating a physical machine which doesn't have a TPM or a trusted platform module. And so in its settings, the TPM is not enabled. Most physical Windows machines which run Windows 11 have a TPM as a pre-requirement, but it is not because there's a pre-requirement that it's actually enabled. The second virtual machine does have a TPM. The second virtual machine does have a TPM, and so BitLocker enabled. So, BitLocker or drive encryption mitigates this. But from my point of view, the accessibility features should be completely reviewed, quote, made more secure, or even scratched, or at least we should have an option to completely disable it. Having such an open backdoor into Windows simply doesn't seem acceptable these days. If you guys enjoy this content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell sign. Or leave a comment down below.